Hey, just old Ben here. It's a cold Sunday still. We're slowly thawing out. There's a lot of snow in the yard and ice in the yard. Temperature's been really low. And we're just going to have a just old Ben moment here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make some meatloaf. And the basic meatloaf recipe I use, and sometimes I change it up, whatever, is the one that actually comes out of the Betty Crocker's cookbook. I used to do one my mother used to do, uh, but this tends to turn out better than the one that she used to do because I don't think I was doing it the way she was actually doing it. I just thought I was. So we're going to get started and make some meatloaf today. Just so been here, keeping the peace. Now the ingredients that I use. I'm going to put the page up right here or right here. I hope that comes in okay. And I don't know if it does or not, but it's basically 1.5 pounds of lean ground beef, 1 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of chopped fresh or quarter teaspoon dry sage leaves. I'm going to use basil. I don't have any sage right now. Half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground mustard. I'm actually going to use some spicy mustard, probably about a teaspoon or a little bit more actually. But also a quarter teaspoon of pepper, some garlic, large egg, 3 slices of bread torn into small pieces. I'm going to be using wheat bread. What I got is honey wheat. I usually don't buy honey wheat. I usually get whole grain when I get bread. Bread's not really good for you that much, but if you do eat bread, whole grain's the way to go. And but they didn't have any. That's all they had because of this snowopolis that was going on. And where was I? Oh yeah, and a small onion chopped, a quarter cup. I'm gonna chop up that onion, and I'm going to add a pepper in there too, because that's what my mother used to put in hers. And I'm going to put probably barbecue sauce on the top of it. I don't know. It says ketchup, chili sauce, or barbecue sauce. And I did barbecue sauce last time I made it, and it was pretty good. Well, that's basically what we're going to start with. Start preparing the different ingredients that we'll need. This really doesn't take that long to prepare. It's probably going to take me a little bit longer to prepare because I'm trying to make a video out of it. But I actually supposed to be looking at a Sportster trike. The Sportster just got a trike kit on it today. But something I ordered through Walmart that wasn't supposed to come in until Tuesday. Well, for some reason, FedEx is bringing it today. I didn't even know FedEx ran on Sundays, but I guess they do. And so, while I wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then if it comes in time, I'll contact the guy and see if I can come over and look at it still. Because I'm thinking about getting some type of a 3-wheel motorcycle deal going on. Need to clean this off a little bit. And I'm not a cook, never was a cook. I've cooked a lot through the years. I've been the main cook in the family ever since I started a family. And I don't know too much stuff. Most stuff I just make by the seat of my pants and not use a recipe. But it's pretty simple stuff I eat. Coming from a Appalachian family that migrated north during during the mine strikes that happened in the 50s. oven set at 350 degrees. It just told me it was that hot. That's great. And I think the recipe just calls for how much? A quarter cup of this? Yeah, quarter cup. Okay. I think this might be about a quarter cup. And the rest of it I'll put up and use it in another recipe. I might chop it up here a little bit later. I'm just trying to get my ingredients together for this meatloaf. And growing up, meatloaf was special for us in my family. Because usually, because my parents were raised in the Depression in West Virginia, what they mostly prepared was like beans and cornbread, fried potatoes, and sometimes some, my mom would call fried cabbage. It was actually cabbage boiled in a little bit of lard and water in the skillet, seasoned with pepper and salt. And that was her. It was mainly all she could really make. She could make cornbread. She made chili. Or that's another bean thing. She made meatloaf. Stuff, boiled, baked, smashed potatoes, fried potatoes, and a lot of that hillbilly fare. She used to eat stuff I couldn't stand. She really liked sardines. I never did like sardines. Let's see, half cup, that's third cup. It says a quarter cup, right? And I believe this might be what we need here. Let's see. This will work right here. Let's go ahead on top of the hamburger meat. Now the hamburger I got, I hope it's lean. It's from Sam's Club. It's actually, I bought it, they were beef patties. And it's about, was it, how many pounds? 3.4 pounds, basically, at $5.98 a pound. And it's supposed to be prime rib steak burger, so let's see what it's going to be. And I thought that was a pretty good price, since I've been paying a lot more. And I'll chop up half of it, some small fine pieces. I know the sound on this is probably not coming out too good. I'm doing this on my smartphone. Now, I was going to try to do it on my old GoPro phones, but they're pieces of crap, and I'm fed up with them. GoPro gave me so much problems of me trying to do video cast vlogs, especially with motorcycle and stuff like that. Overheat, batteries expand, destroy the cameras. I don't know how many cameras I had to send back to get replaced, And I'm just not going to do GoPro anymore. I don't know, after I get a few things settled here over the next couple months, I think I might try out the 360 action cameras. Again, I tried them out earlier on, but since then they've improved and started developing cameras that really work well for motorcycle vloggers and stuff. A lot of motorcyclists have been going towards them, so I'm thinking about switching over to that and maybe try to do some moto vlogging here, because my focus in my life was taking care of my visually impaired wife. I mean, she worked, she was employed, and do a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of things a husband has to do for a person like her, but I'm not going to get into that. But I've got a big hole to fill up, so I'm going to try to get a little bit more regular on making videos. And this is going to be such the most irregular channel, and it already has been. I started doing it to share my adventures in motorcycling and things like that. Started off with slideshows, and then I started doing some bike reviews and rides, and going to rides and stuff, and going to a few rallies, nothing big, but making little videos. Some of them got pretty popular, some of them maybe a dozen people watch, or not even a dozen people. Well, okay, got that set. I think I'm going to clean that off once again. Okay, got everything arranged here. I think now we need to add all the ingredients together. We got the meat. I went ahead and chopped up the peppers and put it in there, chopped up the onions and put it in there. Now we're going to just go down as it is in there. Let's see. It says mix all the ingredients, so I'm just going to go down as it says, like the milk. My mother didn't do that. And what she did, she would put ketchup into the meatloaf itself instead of putting something on top of it, the tomato ketchup on top. And okay, it says tablespoon Worcestershire sauce. I never can say that, can you? Well, I don't have no teeth right now. I gotta get a new set of teeth. But Worcestershire sauce. Oh, such a long word for something that was made for fish, but we usually use it on beef. It's really strange, because this is if you look it up and Google it, it was originally developed as a sauce for fish. And somehow it became a steak sauce. Because I like it for a lot of stuff. And anyways, and after that, 1 teaspoon of fresh chopped or dry sage. Like I said, I'm going to use basil. This basil here is some I grew myself out in the garden and dried up and stuff there. It's not really ground up that fine, but it'll work. And if you haven't tried it, sage and basil, and they're all in the same family. Basically, they're pretty close together, but basil gives you a little bit more unique. Okay, after the basil, half a teaspoon of salt. We'll be killing people. I'm not gonna put that much in, actually. We'll put a little less than that. And here it says a half teaspoon of ground mustard. I don't have ground mustard, but I have this spicy mustard. My son got me for Christmas. Almost used it all up. And I'm going to scoop out about that much. That's kind of messy, ain't it? And mix that up in there. After the mustard, it's a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And it's almost empty. There we go. And just 1/8 of a garlic powder. I do have fresh garlic, but I don't want to fool with it right now. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a 1/4. I don't have no 1/8 teaspoon measuring thing. And we put the onion in there. And now it's time for the large egg. But and we got to put in the bread. And we're going to mix all that up and make a meatloaf. This is the fun part. But, this looks like a mess, all right? I just need to get it nice and mixed up really, really well. Really, really well. Get everything in there. Start patting this up. Kneading it up to make a loaf. Gotta learn how to make meatloaf. Meatloaf should be the staple. You know, you can make meatloaf out of all kinds of different types of meat. And this is a, you know, use ground beef. You can use like ground bison. Yeah, got the meatloaf all mixed up. But if you look at this right now, it'll go, wow, look how runny that looks and everything, because it seemed like it'd be more solidified, right? But that's what, you know, I learned something when I start using this, the basic recipe out of that cookbook. And it's turned out a lot better than what my mom taught me. You know, I loved her meatloaf, but hers turned out better than my version of hers. But, there. Now, doesn't that look nice? Yeah. Now we're going to put some Sweet Baby Ray's on the top. Sprinkle that on there nice and good. I'm going to spread it out with a brush. It looks like a paintbrush. Actually, that's what it is. It is made in China. But, you know, this is what I use for cooking. I don't use this for painting at all. But that's what it is, a paintbrush, but like that. And then you spread it nice, neat. Because that taste will really soak in there. Set the timer for 75 minutes. Place this down in the oven. Start the timer. And now it's just a waiting game. Well, it's time to get it out. Turn that old alarm off. Ooh. That's hot in there. Looking pretty good. I hope you liked that video. After it cools off, I'll have me a little bit of meatloaf later. But the main thing is to stay out of the cold, stay out of trouble. Don't worry about all the stuff that you can't change. Love your neighbor. Don't hate your neighbor. Peace. Just old Ben here from Sunny Rock Garden. Looks good. Mm. Mm. Delicious. Mm-hmm.